Today on All Things 80s, it's Astro Wars by Grandstand. Welcome back to All Things 80s. Now today we're going to take a look at Astro Wars by Grandstand. Now this game was released in 1981. The first generation was identical to this, except the font used for the wording and the circle was red. This is the second generation, which, as you can see, everything is in white. Now this is the actual version. This is my own personal childhood artifact that I received for Christmas in 1982. Now, up until this point, my only exposure to video games was in the arcade version of Space Invaders. And I was quite fortunate in as much as my aunt and uncle owned a pub in Newcastle, England. It was called the Adelaide, and they had Space Invaders in their pub. So when we would go down to visit them, I got the chance to play Space Invaders. And as I recall, because I was just a very small lad at the time, I think a lot of the locals had to hoist me up by the legs in order for me to reach the controls. But just playing Space Invaders for that brief time got me hooked on video games. And in 1982, I managed to get my own video game. Now, by today's standards, this is extremely primitive. There's no getting around that fact. There are a total of 5 controls on this game. We have left and right, we have fire, we have power on and off, we have select, which is to select the level of difficulty, and we have a start button. That is it. There's no volume control, there's no pause. It's just what you see is what you get. Now, I remember getting this on Christmas Day back in 1982, and I just couldn't contain my excitement at the fact that I was going to have a video game in my possession. Nowadays kids have cell phones and they have all manner of games at their fingertips. Back in the 80s, a video game was pretty elusive. It really was. And this game by Grandstand was absolutely fantastic. Let's not make any mistake here. This was as good as it got back then. And even now, when I turn this thing on, I still get those memories flooding back. And make no mistake, it's a very simplistic game. It's not particularly difficult. If I'm being honest, I can get the maximum points, which was 9,999. Not with my eyes closed, but pretty damn close to that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this on and I'm going to go through one round of gameplay. Now, I believe you basically had to do the same 10 rounds over and over. And once you got to the 9th or 10th round, you would reach the maximum number of points, like I said, 9,999. And that was it. You won. Game over. And, if you were to give this to a kid today, they're going to say, what the hell is this crap? And to kids today, this is crap. But to people like me who were there for this kind of stuff coming onto the market, this was absolutely amazing. I do recall getting another couple of games from Grandstand, or it may have been Tommy. But I do remember another one called Demon Driver, which was fun, but it wasn't quite as good as Astro Wars. I actually think Astro Wars was the best game of the 80s, or early 80s, I should say. So anyway, let's take a quick look at gameplay, and we'll come back, we'll discuss it, and we'll close out this video. Alright, so you just saw one round of gameplay on Astro Wars, and as you can see by today's standards, it's pretty limited. It's not particularly exciting, but back in 81, 82, this was as good as it got. And for me, I remember on Christmas Day 82 just being so overwhelmed with excitement at the fact that I had a video game in my possession, in my bedroom. That was as good as it got. In terms of the gameplay itself, it's basically 10 rounds of what you just saw without losing too many lives. And once you got past 9 or 10 rounds and you amassed 9,999 points, you won. And that was it, game over. There were no extras, there were no bonus rounds, that was it. But like I said, this was 1982, excuse me, and we were just absolutely over the moon to have such technology in our bedrooms. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little look back in time, see how things were back in the 80s, and if you did, please do like, please subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.